Hey guys, how are you doing? Today I'm going to show you how to do a DIY rustic planter. Let's get started. Now for this project you're going to need some 1x4s. Now I used 3 pieces at 4 inches. I didn't show the footage of me cutting it because it was kind of messy, but basically you're just going to need the 3 pieces, cut them at 4 inches, and you're going to lay them as so. After you lay the sides up, we're going to go ahead and need to get the measurements for the opposite sides. Now these are going to be a little bit wider. Now here with my measuring tape, I'm measuring and I'm getting about 4 3/4 of an inch. You're going to need 2 pieces. And here I'm just going to double measure because you couldn't really see on that side, but here you can see it's pretty much 4 3/4. Now go ahead and go get your board and go ahead and measure the 4 3/4 inch. Now I'm going to go ahead and mark my line, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my piece. Now, I'm not going to show the footage again of me cutting. Like I said, it's just kind of messy, but just go ahead and cut your board, and then you can go ahead and take it back here. Line it up against the other ones, and here I was having a hard time getting it to stand, so, no worries. I just flipped it over, and then it stayed still. Now you're going to go ahead and measure the other side, just in case, because sometimes your measurements can be off. After going ahead and measuring again, I did get 4 3/4. So I cut the piece, and here are all my pieces. Now all we need to do is sand them. Now sanding to me is always optional. I just like to do it. I'm not going to show any footage of me sanding it, but like I said, if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. Now after my pieces have been sanded, now I'm going to have to go ahead and glue them all together. Here the glue I'm adding, I should have added a little bit more, but it's fine. I just spread it out even enough. Now if you add too much glue, you can always wipe off the excess, so don't worry about that. Here my cap actually got stuck, so I just removed it and I began to add more glue. Now nailing is optional. You don't have to nail it. I don't think you need a nailer for this project. Nailing to me is always optional. The glue held just fine. Now here I'm just aligning it, making sure it is where I want it to be, giving it a little, squishing it a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my Harbor Freight clamps, and I'm going to go ahead and clamp this together. I'm only going to use 2 clamps because I don't think you need more than that. If you want to, the more the merrier, go ahead. But this was sufficient enough. And go ahead and wipe any excess glue. Make sure you're aligned right, and then you can go ahead and see your finished product. Now I'm happy with the way it looks. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the clamps and see how it looks. From here, if you want, you can go ahead and sand it again, but I didn't. I like the way it looked. It's supposed to be rustic. It's not supposed to look, perfect. Now all that's left is to add a coat of polyacrylic. Now, once you get your polyacrylic, make sure that you lay on a heavy coat. I don't think you need to add more than 1 coat, but if you do, it's probably because you laid it out too thin. Here I tried to lay it on thick so I wouldn't have to go back and add another one. Now you are going to have to add some of this because this is what's going to help protect your planter from rotting or receiving any moisture or expanding, especially because you're not using nails, it's just glue. So this is the last thing you want. Now the boards that I used here are actually from an old fence, so it is exterior wood, but at the same time, just take this extra step and go ahead and use some poly on it. Quick tip, I actually use the same brush over and over for applying my clear coat. All I do is wrap it in a Ziploc bag and I just store it away for whenever I need it to add more poly on a new project. Make sure you get the insides. This is very important because this is what's going to be carrying your soil. Or if you're having fake plants, that's fine, but if you're using real plants and soil, then you definitely are going to want to make sure you get a good layer on the inside. If you want, you can even go back and do a second coat. This was the finished product. I ended up going with the fake plant. I think it looks great. I love the way it turned out. I had a lot of fun doing this project. You guys have any questions? Please like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, thanks for watching.